Hello, everybody. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to you. The great weather continues, and I'm excited today. I got a question from a viewer. Actually, came in an email and asked me, tell me your top three most interesting things. I don't want to see every little thing that you dug up metal detecting. But could you please go over the top three things, either the most coolest or most valuable things that you found metal detecting over your years? So I want to do that now. And let's start with some of the most interesting, two of the most interesting things. And I guess back in 2011 or so, when I was just starting to really metal detect in my off time from working on the rancho, I was over by Juilliard Park, which is our downtown park here, and I like to metal detect the tree wells, the areas between the sidewalk and where people park their car on the street. They're public property. A lot of people take ownership and will try to improve them, but at the end of the day, it's a public piece of property. It does not belong to the homeowner. It belongs to the city, county, or whatever. But very few people metal detect those areas. They run over to the park proper. Well, most people are searching in their pockets for keys and things, and it's interesting that it's exciting that the two most interesting finds that I've found were almost within 10 feet of each other over at the park in what I call a tree well. This is, I couldn't believe this when this came up. This is called a pill ring here, and I don't know how well you can see that. These were very popular through the late 1800s and early 1900s, and you would wear this ring on your finger, and if you had some type of medication or something that you had to take, you would pop open the pill ring. Don't say, well, yeah, it sounds like something out of A Secret Spy, where you drop it into a drink, but you can see inside of it, you would conceal a pill in there, maybe some snuff, something like that, and then you could just close it back up, and it's really quite an interesting piece. I don't know what it's worth. It's sterling. It's very interesting. It does have a hallmark on it that I've never really bothered to research. That's the mark that the jeweler puts on. It's got a pretty stone on the top of it, and it's silver. And I don't know how somebody would have lost that, but I was really thrilled to find something that was so cool that tens of thousands of people walked from parking their cars into the park. But I was lucky enough to score this. Metal detecting in the area where people reach into their pocket or pocketbook to get keys, and they lose things. The other really cool thing is in 1915, we had in San Francisco what was called the Panama Pacific Exhibition, and it was showcase of arts and technology and progress in the world, similar to a World's Fair. It was a big deal out in San Francisco because it was sort of the comeback moment defined after the 1906 earthquake. Then in as little as 9 years, San Francisco was able to host a huge Panama Pacific exhibition. Well, how does that tie to my metal detecting? On that trip, during that exposition in 1915, which ran for a period of months, I'm not sure, it might even run a year, I'm not sure. A lot of these things run a long time. In the course of that, Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, and Henry Ford were visitors, obviously big names when they went to the exhibition. They didn't come any bigger than Thomas Edison, the inventor, Henry Ford, who really took assembly and car vehicle production to new highs with perfecting the assembly line. And lastly, of course, Harvey Firestone was tight with Henry Ford and produced a lot of the tires that went on vehicles. These were three very, very important people. In the course of that exhibition, when they were visiting in San Francisco, they decided to board a train and come up to Santa Rosa to visit Luther Burbank, who at the time was known worldwide as the plant wizard. Things today with the russet potato for French fries, the Shasta Daisy. His list of breeding accomplishments working with plants was legendary. He's on postage stamps. He's considered one of the most 100 influential Americans and one of the top 5 botanists of all time. And he was very, very world renowned. So much so that these 3, Firestone, Ford, and Edison, decided to come up and visit him in Santa Rosa. Well, I speculate that maybe on that trip, or maybe somebody just gone down to the exposition, lost this metal detecting, and this is what's called an admission badge here, and I'll let you take a look at this. Okay, I don't know how well you're really going to see it. I'll give you a close-up at the end. It's Cloisonne, and it usually hangs from a red, white, and blue ribbon, and this would indicate when you wore it that you paid the admission and were an official visitor to the exhibition. It's quite something to see, and you'll enjoy seeing this close up. Now, I don't know if it came from people because Luther Burbank, for people on the trip up to Firestone, Edison, or Ford, or somebody in their entourage, but interestingly enough, Luther Burbank lives right across the street from where the park is, where I dug this out, where people park their cars and things. So I like to think in my head that, oh yes, maybe Henry Ford or somebody dropped their ribbon, and of course the medallion entry ribbon, and of course the ribbon decayed long ago, but we're left with this beautiful San Francisco Panama Pacific Exposition medallion here, which is quite interesting. It's an unusual find. So what is my most valuable find? No doubt, I was at a bus stop. All my good stuff comes around the streets and sidewalks, not in parks. And I wrote a book called Street Metal Detecting that's available on Amazon, either Kindle or paperback. And some people are starting to get a little traction in the marketplace. And it discusses why I think urban metal detecting done the right way is one of the most gratifying and rewarding things that you can do in terms of metal detecting, because you're going to be metal detecting where few people metal detect, if anybody. Some of the urban streets, most people rush to parks or schools. So I'll leave a link down below in the description box that'll take you to my book, and if you want to check that out, that would be great. It's available on Kindle, or you can purchase it to put on your shelf. If you're a metal detector, I think that you will really get something out of it. This is a 22 karat gold chain that I found in a bus stop, believe it or not, and this thing is really heavy. It's marked it's marked 22K on the side of it. I don't even know there was a 22K. I don't know. It's kind of smashed. It might be 14. I'm not really sure. It's hard to see. And then on top of that was a lovely crucifix that was hanging on the chain, something like that. Some people recall back in October or November, I believe it was, I dug up a hobo cache of silver dollars, and I forgot to mention that on the video, mainly because I don't have that stash anymore. I ended up doing a giveaway on the channel, and one person won all those silver half dollars from the 1890s through the early 1900s. I thought that would be a great giveaway. They're really worth silver value, but it was a pretty cool find. I'll link the description. I'll put the link to the video down there if you care to watch my hobo stash that I found. I'll link that video below, and you can enjoy that. Okay, I'll give you a close-up of these now. Close out the video. I'm going to lay these out so you guys can see them. And thanks. Great question. My 3 greatest metal detecting finds. Maybe not the most valuable, but certainly the coolest. Thumbs up are appreciated, and thanks for watching, everybody.